friends, I have a really cute card to share with you today. This is the card that I'm going to demonstrate in this video. And this idea is all over Pinterest and it's super cute, and it is made from one of our most popular stamp sets, the Painted Harvest. And this makes, of course, beautiful sunflowers, and it's a fabulous stamp set. It's super popular, but someone came up with this idea to make cute little hedgehogs. So I can't give credit to just one person because I've seen so many cards with it. I wouldn't know where to begin, but a lot of people are having fun with this Painted Harvest set, making these hedgehogs, as am I. So I thought, oh, I'll make a little video showing this card that I made yesterday. So first I'll show you the paper that I've got pre-cut and the measurements. So first of all, I have a piece of Whisper White that measures 4 1/4 by 3, which will be layered on basic black that measures 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. Then I have another piece of Whisper White. This measures 4 5/8 by 3 3/8, which will be layered on like this. The Merry Little Christmas Designer Series paper in the Holly catalog. It's fantastic. So this piece is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Which will go on like this. We have another piece of basic black that measures 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So you can see everything's just going to layer all on top of each other. And then our regular card base, which is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. So when it's closed, it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Let's start by putting this piece onto our card base. I've got my snail adhesive. And you don't want to be chintzy on your adhesive because you certainly don't want your card to fall apart after you've gone through all the effort of making a nice card for somebody. Now this Designer Series paper, you'll notice on the sample, it's colored, and I just sponged it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. I'm actually going to take my Memento Black and add a bit of black to the edge now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive and put this onto my card. This would actually also make a great design for the back of this card. But we are going to use the little trees. There we go. So we're going to set the card base aside. Now it's time to do some fun stamping. Okay, so I'm bringing my paper piercing mat back because this makes a really big difference when you're stamping with photopolymer stamps. I'm just going to put a piece of computer paper on top of my mat because I don't want to get ink on the mat when I'm stamping. Okay, so I've just peeled off a piece of sticky paper similar to Post-it notes, and I'm just going to put this right along the bottom. I'm going to start with this stamp right here, which is the larger of the petals. Put it on my block. This is the D block. And I'm going to stamp it first with the crumb cake. And you don't have to worry about lining. Oops, look, I'm stamping on the measurements. We don't want to do that. Flip it over. Alright, let's try this again. So, stamp this down again. And this is a stamp set that's meant to look like it's water painted. So, these are not a mistake with the different splotches. It's supposed to be that way, you guys. It's all good. It's all good. I'm kind of stamping off to the side a little bit. Now I'm taking my soft suede and I'm using the second petal stamp, inking it up, and again I'm not worrying about lining it up. I am turning them a little bit. Now I'm taking the center of the flower and I'm stamping it on my crumb cake, and I am going to kind of line that up so it goes right in the center. There we go. I'm going to take my early espresso now And grab a little fuzzy face here. Let's see. I'll go with this one right there. So now, need to tell you, you don't want to stamp this too hard because, look, you're going to end up getting something that looks like a raccoon. And you don't want that. So when you ink this up, just stamp and push down nice and light. Because if you push down too hard, that's what you're going to get. Ask me how I know that. I ruined a few cards yesterday because of that. Okay, there's my little rascals. So I'm going to peel this off. My little hedgehogs. And my post-it note didn't go all the way to the edge, and I'm not worried about that because I'm going to cover that up with greenery anyways. So now I'm taking this stamp set again, and I'm going to use these images to sort of fill in the top and the bottom. And I will just be using Old Olive for this. Okay, now it's time to add the grass. So I'm going to take another sponge and some more of that Old Olive, and I'm just going to rub it on the bottom. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to take the grass. Where's the grass? There's the grass right here. Put it on my block. And I'm just going to stamp this randomly. Actually, let's move this here. There we go. So this is just a filler. Okay, on to the Always Artichoke. And I want to kind of have these hedgehogs looking like they're behind the grass, so that's why I'm kind of stamping red on top of the images. Oops. See, that hid that little bit of brown that was on the corner there. That's why I wasn't too concerned about that. There. I think that's good. It's hard to stop once you start stamping, isn't it? There. Isn't that looking cute? I think it is. Okay, and I forgot to mention when I was giving you the ink colors that I also used a little bit of powder pink because I wanted to add some little cheeks to these guys. And I'm just going to do that with my blender pen. I've got a bit of ink at the top of my stamp pad, and I'm just going to lightly draw in some little pink circles for their cheeks. There. Can you see that? Might be hard to see on the camera, but in real life, they're there. Okay, this can now get glued onto the layer. So this is going on the 4.5 by 3 1/4 basic black, just like that. This is going to be put on the 4 5/8 by 3 3/8 piece of Whisper White, just like that. And this is going to go right on the card base. Okay, so now I'm taking my 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White. I'm taking the Gather Together and Give Thanks sentiment from Painted Harvest. And I'm going to stamp this with my black memento. Okay. I'm going to trim it. And then I'm just going to flag the ends. So I'm going up the center and then from side to side towards that center mark. I'm going to take my black. I'm just going to sponge the edge very, very lightly. Alright, next up, I need some cute little hearts, so I'm using this die. As I mentioned, this is from the Everyday Jars Framelits, and I am literally just going to put it right onto my red glimmer paper. I'm going to run that through the bake shot and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've just run this through the die, so they're all cut, so I'm actually just going to pop them out with my scissors. And I will have some extras to use for another project. Now this ribbon measures about 3.5 inches long, and all I'm doing is I'm fraying up the edges. Just like that. I'm taking my tear tape and I'm just going to position it like that. Take off the backing. And just stick this on like that. Okay, I am going to cut some Stampin' Dimensionals in half. And I'm just going to tuck them right next to this ribbon. And that will be for the banner. Okay, now I'm going to take off the backing. Okay. Now we're going to position this right on top. There we go. I'm actually going to trim this up a little bit. I don't need it to be quite that long. Fluff up those edges again. This is probably one of the sweetest little cards I've made in a long time. really had fun making this first card, which is why I just thought I gotta make a video and share this, because I know you guys will have fun making this too. Last step is adding the hearts. So we're going to use the fine tip glue for this. So I'm just putting 3 dots of glue for those hearts. And then we're going to put this pin back in. And honest to goodness, if I don't have my glasses on, I struggle putting that pin in. There we go. Okay, and I'm actually just going to use my X-Acto knife to pick this up and put it on. This red just adds a nice pop to the cards. Whoops. Flip over there, buddy. Butterfingers today. This heart doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Oh my gosh. So sweet. There you have it. Isn't that adorable, you guys? Oh my gosh. So here's the first one that I made yesterday. And the difference between the two is I had my post-it note up just a little bit higher, so it looks like their chins are against the ground. And I actually prefer that over this one, but it's still cute. You get the gist of how it's made, but just when you make yours, you might want to put your post-it note up a little bit higher, or I should say you should stamp a little bit more onto your post-it note so it looks like their chins are on the ground. But really, really cute, huh? And the first card I made using the hedgehog was this one. And this was, you know, trying it out for the first time. I sponged the back of the designer series paper with old olive. And remember I was showing you how if you press your little faces too hard, you're going to get this? Well, that's what happened to this little guy, and I didn't want to throw out the card, so I stamped the little face and cut it out and then just popped it on dimensionals to cover up my mistake. Anyhow, that's still a cute card, I think. So there you go. Super, super cute. And thank you to all the stampers out there that have been sharing their little hedgehog projects with the rest of us. I just think this is just another phenomenal way to use an already phenomenal stamp set. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This was really a fun card to make, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have fun making a similar card in your home. Happy stamping!